Hi everyone, it's Sarah. I am just not feeling all that camera ready this month, but I want to do the video update before we get to the very end of the month, and I have forgotten about it. So you're going to watch a video of me doing some work around Camp National Novel Writing Month. I am participating this year, but I'm not going to share much with all of you romance readers because I am writing horror for the event. This video is sort of the plan with me. My method for writing, at least for this book, is I call myself a pantser. A plantser. It's not about plants. It's a combination of the word planner and the word pantser, in that I do a little planning, a little outlining for books, but then I also fly by the seat of my pants, which means I just let the book go where it wants to go. I know my end, I know my goal, but I keep writing. And this time, one of the methods I'm doing is because of the nature of the book I'm writing, I write a chapter or a story, and then I sort of brainstorm where I want to go next. And my hope is that I will figure out the end. There's 3 more books in the series that I'm writing, so I kind of am feeling loosey-goosey with it. Anyway, you don't care because this isn't a book you're going to read. Let's talk about what's going on with romance while you watch me fiddle around with my toys. So what's happening in romance? My friends, there's still so much happening in romance. You know how all year I've been working on, actually for the last 6+ months, I've been trying to rewrite Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging. Long story short, TLDR, I never really was happy with the book and the editor who worked on it. And I think if you've read it, you've noticed it just doesn't fit with the rest of the series. Primarily, it's in third person, and as I reread it to make what was going to be more cosmetic emotional edits, I realized I really had to rewrite this from first person point of view, which was an amazing experience, but also utterly exhausting and long, because I went from being the external narrator to inside Lisbeth's head, which is, she was fun. I enjoyed being in her head again immensely, but it took a lot. I added 20,000 words of primarily the emotion. So I think the book will fit in with the rest of the series and will be out before the Patreon is done for the early exclusive access for Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy. So you'll be able to read it or reread it before the next book in this a direct sequel comes out. I'm very excited. It's going to my editor in a few days. I have to run it through my grammar check. It's a tool called Grammarly. It's just a very time-consuming process. It wants to make all the corrections because it's a very powerful editing tool, but I just need it to not be stupid. And there were some points where it might be stupid. One, because I might have taken an edible one night expecting it to be productive, and boy was I productive, but I learned very quickly my fingers and my head struggle to communicate with each other when intoxicated, and I should not try to type, no matter how productive I feel. There's other work to do. Anyway, Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging, I hope will be ready for everybody to read or reread this summer, and there will be some promotion around it, which relates to the next topic, which is Patreon. I know some of you are resisting the idea of paying a monthly fee and getting it serialized, but there's a lot going on right now. And for $3 a month, you can get a ton of content just related to 3 weeks a month. So you get, for 2 weeks a month, you get the chapters of Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy and the conversation around it. And these are fun characters. The tagline for the book is, "This is not a meet cute. This is a meet what the fuck did I say?" Or WTF did I say? Ginny is so very positive. She is not the Mr. Darcy in this story. She is not like her brother Will. But what do you know? Of course she is, because she's just not that self-aware yet. This month, we reached the first goal I had set for Patreon, which was to hit $50 a month. And that means the third week in the month, you get what I call the stupid haikus, which are, I find random pictures on my phone and then I write a haiku about them. And I don't really put in much effort. They're stupid. There are a set, I have like 30 of them already written from over the years. Some are really funny, some are sweet, some are somewhat frightening, depending on what I was working on. They're going to be one a month, and they will relate to the 21st Century Austen series. Either something in the world that I now notice and thus take pictures of because of what I have written into these books. Cock jokes get noticed. They will be about the research I've done, so there'll be Disney or candy or yarn or something related to research. Or they will be things that have inspired me for these books, things that I find in the world that I want to take a picture of and make me think of the stories I'm writing, the inspiration, beyond just the research. And then, of course, there will be an AI art series over time. So for $3 a month, you will get that. That's 3 weeks of content a month. If you pick the second tier, which is fan, for $5, you will get to pick which haiku everybody reads. And if you go with Superfan, you will help me pick the prompts for the AI series. And let me tell you, making AI art is freaking fun. So the next goal is when I reach $100, I will release Eliot's prequel story. The prequel stories are something I started doing last year when I started rewriting Modern Persuasion. I wrote Frederick Hits Send because I really needed to get back in Frederick's head, not so much Emma's. There is a prequel story for Will. There are these bad dates, but that's another issue. The point is, there's a prequel story for all of our romantic heroes. Sugar Kisses was Zach's for Unraveling Carrie Woodhouse. So this will be a story setting up where Eliot is before the story begins, and this will take into account what we already knew from Unraveling Carrie Woodhouse. And then, of course, you get 2 chapters a month. We are halfway through month 2, so chapter 4 is next. There will be periodically on Wednesdays and Fridays on my social media information about what's being read on Patreon, and I will be sharing on Instagram and Facebook primarily. The Work in Progress Wednesday will be from chapter 1 of Sweeten Up Jenny Darcy. So you can get a flavor, but you can read the first chapter anytime on Patreon. So if you haven't done that yet, I hope you will. And look, it's my arm. I was wearing my Hey Hey shirt. If you don't know who Hey Hey is, go watch Moana. Sometimes he's my vibe. What's next? Citation needed. Now, I started working on this ever so slightly before April began, which is, I sort of like wipe the table of all projects come a project. When a National Novel Writing Month comes up, which is April, July, and November, every other project gets sort of pushed to the side and I focus on whatever I'm writing. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail. I started editing Citation Needed. I think I've talked about this in the past. There's a video about it on this channel, of me doing that day of editing. I'm sort of going through each scene and mapping out what happened, and then because I wrote it in chronological order and it's Persuasion's adaptation, I want to then restructure it so that we're intermingling the past and the present based on what else is going on. So that's the next thing. If you want to be a beta reader, this is going to happen hopefully later in the summer. My goal is to have this ready for people to give me feedback on in about August, maybe September, so that it can be worked on in the fall and ready for the editor next winter. So if you want to be a beta reader, what does that mean? Lots of things. Primarily that you get to give me feedback on a rough draft. You get to see how this develops and let me know what's working and what's not working. I love to think I know the Frederick Wentworth and Eliot characters better than I might know my own friends and family because I've read this book so many times, but I'm gender swapping it, so I need outsiders to give me feedback. Also, if you have a mobility, and I hesitate to use the word disability, but that seems to be the standard word, but if you have a diversity around mobility, if you use a wheelchair or a cane or a walker or anything, the braces, something that makes you visibly different in the world, I would really love to talk to you about your life's experiences and how people interact with you based on disabilities. And I would very much love to have you read this book. So please contact me. Please leave a message. I will find a way to directly contact you through the messages. But I would very much love to have somebody who understands this world better than my abled body does tell me what I'm not doing right. Because I know it's going to have a ton of ableist language. My filter is automatically abled. Okay, last topic before I let you just watch this video 10 minutes in. It was a busy last month. Audiobooks. Okay, here's the deal. If you're already engaged with YouTube, even though I only share one audiobook a month, you might already realize all my audiobooks are up. Not only are the prequel stories up, but the A Little More audiobooks are up, and I managed to regain control out of all 4 21st Century Austen audiobooks that were in Audible. They are no longer for sale on Audible. They are all free for you to engage with on YouTube. They have some video, but really it's just the audiobook. Other than Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging, you can just watch the entire audiobook, so to speak, or listen in one file. Something weird happened when I made the audiobook for Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging, and I had to break it up into chapters. Long story, does not matter to any of you. So that is the only one in chapters. Why am I not fighting to change it? Because they're only staying up long. They will always be up there, but they will be unlisted once the audiobook is made for the updated editions. So that means for Modern Persuasion, that'll probably happen late spring, early summer, depending on how quickly I can get to it and how much energy I have. It's always about my energy. But Pride, Prejudice, and Pledging will be next, and that's being edited. And so I'm not feeling all that anxious about getting it up. But then now you can listen to all the audiobooks. What's the plan? Next is AI audiobooks for the 4 that don't have AI audiobooks and are being updated. I hate to lose these beautifully, well, in most cases, beautifully narrated audiobooks. I worked with 3 amazing vocal artists, and unfortunately, the 4th just she was lovely. Unfortunately, I don't know if she had the experience, and I was kind of tired, and the audiobook is not, and if you read the reviews, you know, the audiobook was not wonderful and never really hit. And then, of course, the book never really hit with people, so it was just ill-fated. Unfortunately, she is a wonderful person, and they were all so very generous in working with me to make this an affordable thing so that I could get these audiobooks out to you. So the plan is to next do AI editions of the audiobooks that as each of the 4 books are updated. There's still a plan to do human narrated audiobooks of those versions. Those will not be free on YouTube. Those will be on sale. The AI versions might go on sale because some people like that and don't like YouTube. That's perfectly fair. Some people don't even like audiobooks. I want to give you the option on how you engage with these books based on your preference. Paperback, ebook, audiobook. If I could make this Braille affordably, I would. If I could translate these affordably, I would. I would in a heartbeat. But money is the key right now. So AI is our stopgap, if you will. I couldn't afford to do these audiobooks otherwise. Thus, the AI will be up on YouTube for free. The humans will be for sale because they are expensive. Sharmila, who does the audiobook for Love and War in Woodhouse Hall, she is an amazing narrator. I loved working with her. I loved her audiobook. She is a very talented voice artist. She and I have talked, and as I can afford them, I will be hiring her to do all of them if I can. And by if I can, it's how quickly can I save, and how willing is she to do an audiobook again. She is willing to do them right now, but this could take years. The reason I mention this, and I'm going to connect it back to the Patreon, if we can get to like 500 a month on Patreon, it's a lofty goal. It's going to take a long time, but if I can get us there, and there's content that will be added and bonuses that you'll unlock as we go, but at the 500 a month point, I will be commissioning her to do Modern Persuasion. So if you want Modern Persuasion, human narrated, current edition, sign up for Patreon. Let's go there, because once Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy is over, we're going to roll out all the short stories for everybody to read. And then we go right into Citation Needed. And then, oh, here's the secret. If you've made it this far into the video, okay, so there's only technically 3 more books left in the 21st Century Austen series. There is Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy, which advance early read on Patreon, exclusive access till next January. After that, we do Citation Needed, which is book 7 in the series. That's Persuasion's Gender Swap. Book 8, the final book in the series. Right now, working title is Tilney's Haunted Farm. We're bringing back the Northangers, people. We're connecting it to the fantasy series. Don't ask me why I do this to myself, but if you want fantasy, Bad Boy Read Northangers, coming, baby. Tattooed illustrator who has way too much magic at his fingertips and doesn't even realize how he uses it. And his wife, the immaculate astrophysicist, Tati. She is my vibe right now in many ways. But they are going to get a sneaky reference at the end of Sweeten Up Ginny Darcy, and they will be playing a role in Tilney's Haunted Farm. But that is going to be about the Northangers' efforts to build a haunted theme park in Lecoq, or just outside of Lecoq. And it will be a version of Northanger Abbey again. So we're bringing back the Thorntons. Katie, Ethan, probably just Hannah. I mean, Katie and Ethan will make a cameo because I do that. But really, it's about Hannah, and it's going to be Hannah's Happily Ever After. So I'm really excited about that. But then the series is over, and there'll be these like short stories about Lecoq, but it was going to be like a Sanditon kind of thing. But I had an idea, and if you know me, you know I always have an idea. There's no ideas that are absent from my brain. What if we do a series of romances about the ladies at the table? Now, I know a lot of you like sweet or clean romance, but I like degrees of spice. And while I will keep a series to the same degree of spice, a new series is going to have a different degree of spice. And I think this one, because these are mature women who will have different romance stories. For example, if we do Maureen and Jean Woodhouse, they're married. They're going to have sort of this recommitment to each other story. Lisa and Umberto, who we didn't get enough of in Unraveling Carrie Woodhouse because it was already super long. We're gonna get their story. Like, what did we not see in Unraveling Carrie Woodhouse? Because Carrie, she's oblivious to everything. So what did she not see, thus we not see? We're going to get all the ladies at the table, including our very lovely Ms. Bates, a.k.a. Teresa, who's going to have a very lovely little affair with a clockmaker. Because her father was a clockmaker. I want her to have I want everyone to have a happily ever after. So the ladies at the table are next. And the idea I have is that it's going to be focused on knitting and romance. And there's going to be yarn patterns to go, knitting patterns primarily to go with everything. And I will work with crochet designers to maybe make crochet patterns. I want knitting. More than I thought I did. And I want swag. Last thing for those who have made it this far. Swag. I'm going to start doing some swag. We're starting with the catchphrase of the 21st Century Austen series, Modern Women, Classic Problems. And I have a sticker that's so very cute. It's very simple, but it's a sticker, and we're going to start there. And if you can, if you want a sticker, leave a purple heart in the comments, because I want to see how many people are interested in stickers, if anything. And also I want to see who gets to the 20-minute mark on this video. So that's it. I'm going to leave you for the last 5 minutes to just watch me clean this up. Literally, I think I'm erasing my own. Oh, I know what I'm doing at this point. I have all these papers that talk about my plans for the audiobooks, and things have been done that were in pencil, so I have to erase the pencil and then update the list in pen. This is how my head works, just so you know. I love stationery, and I have way too much of it. So using it, including erasers and pencils and pens, is critical. So thank you for putting up with a 20-minute video. Purple heart in the comments if you want stickers and more swag for Modern Women, Classic Problems. We're going to talk about what potential swag there is for this series. And after that, I will see you on the newsletter or in next month's video.